So, the Pope and Cardinal Spellman of New York. Who was Cardinal Spellman? He was the Pope of America. If you've ever seen St. Patrick's Cathedral on Fifth Avenue, he was Cardinal Spellman. And he supported putting the Catholics into Vietnam. So you've got to convince the American people. So they find this Dr. Tom Dooley. Now, people might not, they might know or might not know that name. Dr. Tom Dooley, when I was a little boy, was an American hero. He wasn't just a hero. He was voted the third most admired man in the world after the Pope and President Eisenhower, and then it was Tom Dooley. It wasn't John Kennedy or someone. No, no, no. Thomas Dooley, Dr. Tom Dooley. Well, why was he so heroic? He wrote a book called Deliver Us from Evil. Got the Catholic theme? And Deliver Us from Evil was a story about how the good American Catholics went to the horrible North Vietnam and they rescued the Catholics from North Vietnam and they brought them to freedom in Operation Freedom. They brought them to South Vietnam. Well, here's what really happened. The CIA propagandized the Northern Catholics that they were going to get bombed with an atomic bomb. They bribed them with more money than they made in a whole year. This came out of my dad's taxes. And they shipped them down to South Vietnam, and then they packed them around the Catholic dictator. So imagine that we go like to Utah and get a bunch of Mormons and we install with force a Mormon president of the United States. And then we bring in all the Mormons and we pack them around Washington, and the rest of the country is not Mormon. So the whole country is Buddhist, but the dictator had a Catholic elite around him. So we had a Catholic dictatorship in South Vietnam. And then, I'm not saying like Americans were stupid or anything. I read Deliver Us from Evil by Tom Dooley when I was a little boy. I almost cried. I thought Vietnam was a Catholic country. I went to the
Wow.
University of Notre Dame. There was a Tom Dooley room at Notre Dame.
So the
You know what I mean?
propaganda worked on you, and I'm pretty sure it gaslit a lot of people.